All right, in today's video, we are going to talk through the dreaded recruiter call. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Katie. I'm a coach at Career Sprout. We have helped 700 plus folks land high paying jobs at companies they really admire, doing something they really love. And one of the most important parts of that is getting to actual interviews. So oftentimes you will have to deal with recruiters. Here is going to be your step-by-step guide for dealing with that very first recruiter call that you have. So let's dive in. At the end, I will share with you guys, we have a bunch of free resources with this goal in mind to help people land high paying jobs, even if they never actually speak with us personally. So at the end, I will show you the full guide for how to deal with recruiters and where you can pick that up. So let's dive in. How to prepare for contract roles. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because most of the folks who are watching this right now are likely looking for full-time work, but I did want to just have this here just in case, you are potentially either entertaining contract roles or actively seeking out those contract roles, especially if you're more of a freelancer. This was how I got started, and I am a very, very big fan of this role. This is how I landed my very first $300,000 contract role, was essentially being able to ask these questions and know what to expect going into things. So I will just leave these here. I won't read through all of them. I want to spend the bulk of our time on how to prepare for full-time roles. If you guys want added details on this, just comment below or shoot me a message. So for the full-time positions, there's really two parts of this conversation. One is going to be you asking questions to get a lay of the land, know what to expect as you go into the interview rounds. Then the other side of the call is going to be them asking you questions to make sure that they can check off on their checklist, yes, this person is going to be a good fit. I'm not going to waste the hiring manager's time if I put this person through and have them speak with somebody. So how you prepare for these full-time positions, this is assuming that you have seen some of our stuff in the past. You've already gone through the steps. You know how to, speak about yourself. You know which role specifically you should be going after. If you don't, again, at the end, I'll show you where all those free resources are so you have all of this fresh in your mind so that you can then ask really powerful questions. So as a rule of thumb, the whole purpose of this call is to get the answers to the test, get the lay of the land, know as much as you can about the job, the hiring manager, or I should say learn as much as you can about the job, the hiring manager, the expectations. And the way you get this information is just by asking questions about it. So a really good one, why is this role open? Is somebody leaving? Did somebody just get promoted? Is there more work? What are the tangible and intangible skills that this specific hiring manager are looking for? Or how many times have you recruited? Have you ever recruited for this hiring manager before? What can you tell me about them just, in general? Are there common traits? Again, if they have hired for this person before or this company, are there common traits that the last few hires had that the hiring manager got really excited about? Are there things like, of course, the reason why you're asking this is so that you can put yourself through that filter and see, which stories you want to share to highlight those traits. And then, what is this hiring manager really hoping that this person is going to achieve in the first 90 days, in the first 1 year? Essentially, how would they define success in this role? And then this is a really great one between now and, the interviews, or anything that you recommend I should read up on to better prepare for the interview. And that's a great question, even beyond the recruiter, as you're going to additional rounds. Very good question to ask each person that you talk with. And then, of course, we've gone through a ton of videos on this, so I won't spend a lot of time, making sure that you've got very strong star format examples to talk about your past experience. And again, which of those stories you pull, how you talk about those, what you highlight in those stories, that's going to be dependent on their answers. Now, that's usually the easy part. People typically don't get as choked up when they're asking the questions. But now, of course, the recruiter is also going to ask you questions. So these 3 questions you can pretty much guarantee every recruiter is going to ask you. Why are you leaving? Why are you searching? Something along those lines. And so in this question, this is where you really have a chance to leave a very good impression and make yourself the perfect candidate for them. So sometimes you're not actively looking, especially if you already have a role and you don't want your employer to know that you're looking, but you can say, I'm being very intentional about my next steps in my career. I've been, especially if it's a company that you love and, whatever the case may be that you're looking at, you can talk about how it's a dream opportunity. But in this position, you never want to say anything bad about your current company. So if you say here, you want to highlight, the company that I'm at and the position that I'm in, it's been amazing. It's really helped me develop some skills that directly tie to this role that we've been speaking about. And, there's not currently a ton of opportunities for me at my company to step into this type of role and make a larger impact. So I'm being very intentional about where I can go to make that impact. Very simple, response to just share with them and show that you are the 3 H's we always talk about: humble, hungry, and happy. So why us? This is a very, very important one. Sometimes it gets asked in a slightly different way, where it's, what do you know about the company and why do you want to work there? So this is where you want to make sure you share with them that you are not just applying to a million jobs and just speaking with anybody who's willing to speak with you. There should be a human reason why you want to work at this company. So it may be their mission, their vision, their values, why you're excited about the specific work that you would be doing. You've already spoken to some of the folks at the company, some of the folks on the team. You can name drop and say, like, I've heard what it's like on the inside. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And everything in my career has brought me to this point. It feels like the perfect next step for me. And I'm so excited about the mission, or I'm so excited about the culture and what I've heard about, from people who work there. Very important that you have both the emotional human side of things and the logical next steps of your career and why it's a good fit for you right now. And then, of course, the question that oftentimes trips folks up, the salary expectations. You want to make sure you have an answer for them here to give them a very tangible answer. 1, to make sure you're not wasting your time, but 2, to make sure they're not wasting their time, and 3, to see if you guys are on the same page. It does not make sense for you to be looking for $300,000 roles if they're looking for an $80,000 hire or $120,000 hire, and vice versa. So there are some strategic things that we can talk through to make sure you don't price yourself out of the role, because salaries are negotiable, but we've got plenty of other things for that, or you can reach out if you need help with that specifically. So the very best thing you can say here is, salary is not my number one motivator, and I'm much more interested in looking to join an organization where I can really continue to learn about something that really personally excites me, work with a great team, have opportunities for future growth. That's really important to me. And just being able to utilize my strengths and my experience to make a actual impact. So that being said, full transparency, the positions that I'm currently interviewing for right now are offering between, $205,000 to $236,000, whatever the range is. And you don't have to use, obviously you'll insert your exact numbers in there, but you want to make sure the numbers are very specific. When you give specific numbers, it shows that you actually did research. And again, if you need help on figuring out where to pull those numbers from, you can reach out to us. You can also reach out to Glassdoor, pay scale, salary. This is one of those things. There is a science that goes behind just like plugging and chugging these numbers in. There's also an art to knowing, at different size companies, what is actually the reasonable salary when you balance it out with equity, total comp packages, all of those things. So if you do have questions on that, just let us know. And then, as I mentioned, the How to Tell If Recruiters Are Lying and What to Do About It guide, one of my favorite guides, and this is what actually sparked this whole video right now, was seeing this message. So this is somebody from our free community. He was able to just use our free resources to get a 14% salary bump. So we are very excited about this. So how you can get there, I'll leave the link below. It's just our Career Sprout community here. We have a classroom. You can use the community. You can ask questions if you're not sure about how to do something. But then in the classroom tab right here, this is where you can grab all of your free resources. There's case studies, with actionable insights that you can use. And then that recruiter guide is right here. So there's the step-by-step guide, proven resumes, interview playbooks, like all of the things that you would need to land, a job that you're really excited about. It's all right in here. You can just go ahead, click right on here, and it's a full guide to walk you through how the recruiting process works so that you can use the system to your advantage. So with that, I hope you guys are having a good one, and I will see you in the next one.